Hello, everybody. It's Jeremiah here. Today was Tuesday, December 19th, and it's it's 8:52. So now I'm going to continue to, read this diary with ChatGPT. Finish this book. Yeah. Okay. So now I'm gonna call ChatGPT. Hi, ChatGPT.
Hola, ¿qué tal?
I'm sorry, I can't just speak English. Okay. Well, hi, ChatGPT.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Could you speak English?
Qué bien. ¿En qué te puedo ayudar hoy?
Oh, could you speak English?
Claro, ¿en qué puedo ayudarte?
What happened? Okay. What happened? What happened? Hello, ChatGPT.
Hey there, how's it going?
I'm good. Everything's going well. So let's continue to read the diary of Wimpy Kate. Do you remember that?
Of course, you mentioned you were reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid recently. How's it going?
It's it was like as I mentioned, the last 100 pages left. So yeah, so today was Thursday and December 19th. So I want to finish it as quickly as I can. So before I go to the office, yeah, I just want to read it again with you. Would you like to do it with me?
That sounds like a great plan. I'd love to go through it with you. Are you planning to read a specific part or just continue from where you left off?
Just continue where I left off. Okay, so could you just read it now?
Sure thing. Let's pick up where you left off. So it looks like Greg just showed up at Fregley's house with his overnight bag.
Yeah.
What do you think of this part of the story?
Okay, so I just read it. Okay, so I went up to Frankie's with my overnight bag, so I really could see I had other friend options too. So when I got there, Frankie was in his front yard stabbing a cat with a stick. That's when I started to think maybe this wasn't the best idea after all. Okay, so let's go ahead, let's move. Okay, so but Riley was in his front yard and he was watching me, so I knew there was no turning back. I invited myself into Fraggie's house. His mom said she was excited to see Fraggie's with a playmate, which was a term I was not too enthusiastic about. Me and Fraggy went upstairs to his room, and Fraggy tried to get me to play Twisters with him. TWISTER, what's this?
Twister is a party game where you place a large mat with coloured circles on the floor, and players have to place their hands and feet on specific colours as directed by a spinner. It's a fun but tricky game that can get everyone tangled up. Greg probably wasn't too excited to play Twister with Fregley, though.
Twister game. Okay, I got it. I got it. Twister is my first time hearing about this game. With him, so I made sure I stayed 10 feet away from him at all times. I decided I should just pull the plug on this stupid idea and go home. But every time I looked out the window, Riley and Colin were still in Riley's front yard. Okay, oh, so he's kind of jealous, right?
Yeah, it definitely seems like Greg is feeling a bit jealous and torn. He doesn't really want to be at Fregley's, doesn't
Okay,
want to
what's
admit it.
mean tone? Or could you just type that word? Could you spell that word tone when you say jealous and tone? I didn't catch. I don't know this word. Could you type that word? Spell it to me.
Sure, the word is spelled Torn. It means being conflicting, divided between two options.
Tone. Okay, TORN, right?
Exactly, you got it. It's
Okay,
like when you're pulled in different directions and can't decide what to do.
okay. Tone. What's tone? Okay, tone. Let me see. What's mean tone? Tone seems to have been pulled apart or ripped. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, let's go ahead. And Frankie is one of these kids. Okay, so when okay, so I didn't want to. Okay, I'm sorry. So okay, I didn't want to leave until those guys went back inside, but things started to get out of hand with Fraggy pretty quickly. When I was looking out the window, Froggy broke into my backpack and ate the whole bag of the jelly beans I had in there. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's definitely a chaotic moment. It sounds like things are getting out of control with Fregley. Greg must have been regretting his decision to go there even more.
Jelly bean. Okay, jelly bean is a famous is a famous sugars is a famous sugars in American, huh?
Yes, jelly beans are a popular candy in the US. They're small, bean-shaped sweets that come in a variety of flavors and colors. They're
Okay.
fun to eat.
Okay, Frankie is one of these kids who's not supposed to eat any sugar. So 2 minutes later, he was bouncing off the walls. Oh wow! So Frankie started acting like a total manic. Maniac. I pronounce it.
Yes, you're pronouncing it correctly. Maniac describes someone who is acting wild or uncontrollable, which definitely fits Fregley's behavior after eating all that sugar.
Okay, let's go ahead. Manic, and he chased me all around his upstairs. I kept thinking he was going to come down off of his sugar high, but he didn't. Eventually, I looked myself in his bedroom to wake him out. Okay, so around 11:30, as it got quiet out in the hallway. That's when Frankie slipped a piece of paper under the door. I don't know what the meaning is. Okay, SLIP, slip piece. What's the mean? Slip.
Slipped in this context means quietly and smoothly put the piece of paper under the door. So Fregley probably pushed the paper through the gap at the bottom of the door without making much noise.
Okay, I picked it up and okay, slip a piece of paper under the door. I got it. Slip a piece of paper under the door, and I picked it up and read it. Dear, dear Gregory, how to pronounce his name?
That's pronounced Gregory. It's the full name of Greg, the main character in the story.
Dear Gregory. Okay, dear Gregory, I'm very sorry I chased you with a
It
booger on
looks
my
like
finger here. I put it on this paper so you can get me back. Okay, so let's the last thing I remember before I blacked out. What's the meaning of blacked out? You know, when we say black out in a just in a house, it means the electrics was off, right? So, but in here, the thing, could you tell me like a black out meaning?
in this context, blacked out means Greg fainted or lost consciousness, probably from all the chaos and stress. It's different from the blackout due to a power outage.
Could you simply explain to me? Thank you.
Of course, it means Greg passed out or fainted, possibly from exhaustion or shock. It's when someone temporarily loses consciousness, not related to electricity or lights going out.
Okay, so I came to my sense a few hours later. After I woke up, I cracked the door open and I heard snoring coming from Frank's room. So I decided to make a run for it. Mom and Dad were not happy with me for getting them out of bed at 2 in the morning, but by that point, I could really care less. Oh my gosh, snoring. Okay, so let's go ahead and Monday. Okay, well, me and Riley have officially been ex-friends, but for a month now, and to be honest with you, I'm better off without him. I'm glad that I can just do whatever I want without having to worry about carrying all that dead weight around. Lately, I have been hanging out in Rodrick. How pronounce his name?
You're pronouncing it correctly. Name of another character in the story. Greg seems to be adjusting Ollie as his friend.
How pronounce it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Can you tell me?
Sure, it's pronounced Chirag. You're doing
Right.
great with
I
the
mean, how
names.
pronounce? Okay, I spell to you. I'll spell to you. Rodrick. How pronounce this name? This guy's name.
That's pronounced Roderick. He's Greg's older brother in the story.
Okay. So lately I have been hanging out in Roderick's room after school and going through his stuff. The other day I found one of his middle school yearbooks. Okay, so Roderick wrote on everybody's picture in his yearbook, so you can tell how he felt about all the kids in his grade. Okay, so every once in a while, I see Roderick's old classmates around town, and I had to remember to thank Roderick for making church, right?
Yes, that's church. It seems like Greg is spending time in Roderick's room discovering things about his brother's past. Those yearbooks must have some interesting notes from Roderick.
What's yearbooks?
Yearbooks are books published annually by schools that contain photos, names, and sometimes
Oh,
messages.
oh, I got it. So I just don't know why, he just said, okay. So and I had to remember to thank Roderick for making church a lot more interesting. I don't understand what's just between like a yearbook and a church. What is how it is related or not?
Greg is making a joke about how finding Roderick's yearbook makes church more interesting. He might be implying that instead of paying attention at church, he could secretly read the yearbook to pass the time. It's just a
Oh,
humor.
I got it. Okay, I got it. Could you just tell me just example humors like in this it's kind of like this contact.
Sure, another example of humor in this context could be when Greg jokes about how his brother Roderick wrote funny or mean comments next to the classmates' pictures. It's a playful way to show how Greg finds humor in his brother's mischievous behavior.
Okay, how about just tell me some example outside of this book, just give me some example about this kind of humor. It's talking about like a yearbook is more interesting about than a church, right?
Sure, imagine someone saying that reading a comic book during a boring meeting makes the meeting more enjoyable.
Oh,
It's a hu-
I got it. I got it.
it's
But that is also kind of disrespectful, don't you think so?
it can be seen that way depending on the situation. Humor is subjective, so what one person finds funny might not be the same for someone else. It's
Okay,
all about context.
okay. So, when you mentioned about situation, I was wondering, there's another word, circumstances. I mean, they're the same in the meaning.
Situation and circumstances are similar but have slight differences. Situation is a general term for what's happening at a given time, while circumstances often refer to the specific conditions or factors surrounding an event. Both relate to context, but are used slightly differently.
Give me some example how to use these two words.
Sure, for situation, you might say, the situation at work is stressful right now. For circumstances, you could say, given the circumstances of the pandemic, we've had to work from home.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Hmm. Okay, given circumstance of pandemic, we had to work at home. Okay, let's go ahead. Okay, but the page in Roderick's yearbook that's really interesting in class favorite page. So that's where they put pictures lots of the kids who get voted most popular and the most talented and outlet. Roderick wrote
Yes,
on his class favorites page too. Okay, most likely to succeed. Okay, I gotta go to work. I'm sorry. I gotta go to work because time's almost up.